What's happening, guys, and welcome back to Celebrity Overdose. Unless you've been living under a rock, we're certain you pretty much heard about the whole fiasco taking place in court between Johnny Depp and his ex-wife Amber Heard, but recently there have been some headlines which state, Johnny Depp cries as the truth is exposed. Let's take a look into what this is all about. Number 7. How did this entire thing start? Depp and Heard got together back in the early months of 2012 and got married only years later, but their marriage lasted no more than about a year. Things got a bit out of hand after Heard not only filed for a divorce, but she also asked for a restraining order against her ex-husband Depp from a court in Los Angeles. She accused Depp of physically assaulting her by throwing a phone at her face with full force. She also claimed to have been emotionally, physically, and verbally abused by Depp, whom she described as having anger issues. These accusations were denied by Depp, and he said that he had never even lifted a finger on Heard. Depp was temporarily given a restraining order for only a couple of hours, but before a civil trial was just about to happen, Depp and Heard decided to put out a joint statement that the issues between them had been resolved. Heard was granted $7 million by Depp as their divorce settlement, and this money was given to the American Civil Liberties Union, or was it? Depp's legal team claimed that Heard never donated the money to where she promised. Number 6. What is the trial that's taking place about? It seemed that the two stars had buried the hatchet and left their past behind them until December of 2018, which was when Amber wrote an opinion piece for the Washington Post in which she described her experience with domestic abuse as a public figure. I felt the full force of our culture's wrath for women who speak out. I had the rare vantage point of seeing in real time how institutions protect men accused of abuse, Heard stated. Even though Heard didn't take any names, people were pretty quick to associate what she wrote with her ex-husband Depp. Depp said that the few sentences that Amber put down had ruined his career, destroyed his reputation, and had taken everything from him. The op-ed's clear implication that Mr. Depp is a domestic abuser is categorically and demonstrably false, Depp's lawyer stated in the complaint. Her allegations are part of an elaborate hoax to generate positive publicity for Miss Heard and advance her career, Depp said. Depp then proceeded to sue Heard for $50 million over what she wrote in the Washington Post, but Heard immediately sued him back with a $100 million counterclaim. Number 5. Depp's testimony. In his testimony against his ex-wife and on the fourth day of his stand, Depp was cross-examined by Heard's attorney, yes, the same attorney who ridiculously objected to his own question, Ben Rottenborn. Rottenborn questioned Depp about things like the recordings or his arguments with Heard that went viral, and whether she was the only one in their relationship who had issues with remaining sober. Depp responded to Rottenborn's question with, "Sir, if anyone had a problem with my drinking at the time of my life, it was me. The only person I've abused in my life is myself." Depp then concluded his testimony by saying that he was a victim of domestic abuse. Number 4. What took place during the testimony? Audio recordings were played in court that day to the jury, which indicated that the then couple were in a verbal altercation. By hearing some of these recordings, one could conclude that Depp on various occasions attempted to walk out of the situation while Heard tried to prevent him from doing so. Depp's legal team insisted that this was something that occurred on the regular. In another recording, Depp can be heard trying to calm Heard down and is trying to explain to her how walking away is necessary, and if he didn't do it, there would be nothing but a bloodbath. Number 3. The audio clips. This was far from it. Other audio recordings exposed Heard as much as she could have been. She admitted to hitting Depp while trying to explain to him how she wasn't punching him, but was rather hitting him in an attempt to downplay her vile acts. "I didn't know what the motion of my actual hand was, but you're fine. I didn't hurt you, I didn't punch you, I was hitting you." Heard, who was the so-called spokesperson on domestic abuse a few years back, also taunted and shamed Depp, telling him to grow up when he complained to her about her abusive behavior. Not only that, she tried to justify her actions by telling Depp that if you poke an animal enough, it'll eventually lash out. Heard also mocked Depp in one recording for being a victim of domestic abuse at her hands, in which she was daring Depp to come out as a victim of domestic abuse to the world, as she was sure that no one would believe him. "Tell the world, Johnny. Tell them, Johnny Depp. I, Johnny Depp, a man, I'm a victim too of domestic violence, Heard says before going on to dare Depp to see how many people believe or side with you. Meanwhile, in real time, Depp could be seen wiping his cheery eyes. Number 2. Depp's injured hand. Depp testified that when he started drinking in Australia while he was filming one of the Pirates of the Caribbean movies, Heard, in a fit of rage, tossed a vodka bottle at him, which hit his hand and severed the tip of his finger. Blood was pouring out, Depp said. I think I went into some sort of, I don't know what a nervous breakdown feels like, but that's probably the closest I've ever been. Nothing made sense. Depp told that he hid himself in a bathroom to protect himself from Heard and was taken to a hospital later on where he made an excuse in front of the doctors, telling them that his finger got caught in the middle of a large accordion. I lied because I didn't want to disclose that it had been Miss Heard that had thrown a vodka bottle at me and taken my finger off, Depp told the court. I didn't want to get her in trouble. Number 1. The fecal matter in Depp's bed. You may have heard the term Amber Turd going around, but have you ever wondered where it came from? Well, Heard actually pooped in the bed that she shared with Depp after they had an argument. A member of Depp's security team, Starling Jenkins, also testified about the fecal matter he saw on the bed in court and said that Heard called it a horrible practical joke. Before Heard did what she did, Depp had already left his apartment and went to another one of his houses in Hollywood Hills. After Depp found out that Heard had left for Coachella, a housekeeper found feces on Depp's side of the bed and informed him about it. My initial response to that was I left, Depp said in an earlier testimony as he described his reaction to what happened. It was so outside, it was so bizarre, it was so grotesque that I could only laugh. Depp's bodyguard, Jenkins, also testified about being an accomplice of Heard on her trip to Coachella, and before he, with Heard and her sister, left for the music festival, he fetched the 2 pet dogs in the house and her luggage. Jenkins later on had a conversation with Heard, which was apparently about a surprise that she had left on the boss's bed, and by his surprise, what he meant was the poop on the bed. After this incident, Depp refused to speak with Heard for over a month after his mother's death. According to him, Heard blamed her 2 dogs for the poop, which was something that Depp didn't believe, as her dogs were 2 small teacup Yorkies that probably didn't weigh more than 4 pounds each. I lived with those dogs, Depp said. I picked up their funk. It wasn't the dogs. Well guys, this about concludes our video, which we hope you had a blast watching. And if you did, do be sure to hit that like button to show us your appreciation, and if you haven't done so already, then don't forget to subscribe to our channel and hit that bell icon if you don't want to miss out on any more of our upcoming content in the future. And with that, I'll see you guys later in another one. Bye now!